Hey, what's up, world? I'm Kat Harvey, the host and the producer of The Kat Harvey Show. Today, I have my brother and my sister on with us today. I'm so excited to have them. It's long, long overdue. They're both real estate tycoons. One's a former boxing champion. The other one's a former party promoter, Layla Ali, Mike Tyson, and so forth. But they're here today, and I'm so excited. You know, over 20 years of marriage and success. This is what it looks like. Mr. Marty and Miss Isra Wynn. How you guys doing?
Good. Fantastic. How are you
Thanks
doing?
for coming.
Oh,
So, tell people a little bit about yourselves for those who may or may not know you.
well, myself, I'm a former boxing champion, and I'm into health and nutrition now, but had a 10-year career, got into real estate after that, and we've been married for
Get it right.
a long time.
Oh,
It's now you can't count it anymore.
okay.
Yeah. With me, I was a barber, then got into boxing promoting. Of course, started promoting my wife, Layla Ali, Mike Tyson, so on and so forth. Then got into real estate prior to that. And so today we own some vacation rentals, real estate property development firm, and a whole lot of other things.
Okay. So you guys have been married, over 20 years, right?
It's been about 18.
18 years.
18, yeah. Okay. So what's the keys to that? I know a lot of people don't even make it 5 and 10 years, and then we got these reality shows, people, lasting 72 days and
Yeah.
stuff. So how do you guys stay together for over, 18 plus years?
Well, communication, and not giving up after something goes wrong. You talk it out, you work it out. When you take your vows, it's till death do us part. Everybody's gonna go through a rocky road, and the journey's not easy. But
Right.
we try to make it work, not only for us but for the family itself. So.
Yeah. It's marriage is good. You go back and forth, and you just say okay to your wife, right?
Yeah.
And you get along and you talk it out like she said. It's a journey.
Okay. So for the average person, you guys are really, the masters in real estate. What do you recommend the average person that's making, I don't know, 50, 100 or whatever, what do you recommend them do, instead of buying a house, because everybody's so hooked up on buying a little townhouse or whatever, what would you recommend them to do?
First of all, I've operated something called Cybler, and Cybler is credit, investing, banking, leverage economy, and retirement. So you have to get your credit right first. That's first and foremost. A lot of us as individuals don't have good credit. We don't know what it means. We don't know what a beacon score is. We don't know what a debt to income ratio is. So you have to get your credit right first. And then from there, get with someone that's professional in the industry of mortgage brokering, and just ask them, what type of house can I afford with this type of income? And let them kind of guide you through that.
It's not always about buying. It's being comfortable, being able to afford, everything that you want in life. If you like traveling, if you like, doing certain things, you don't have to necessarily buy a house. You can always rent. There's nothing wrong with renting. If you're never there, it's all in what you want and what you need in life.
So you guys can't see, but their kids are backstage watching us. How important, as parents, especially on the weekends, how important is it for your kids to see what you guys are doing, especially together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how important is that? And then holding integrity and character and so forth.
I mean, it's very important. We try to be the role models in the house of everything that we do. Teaching them entrepreneurship, teaching them how to be good people, be humble. A lot of stuff like that. So we have to first exude that ourselves, and for them to see us doing different things on the weekends, as far as interviews or going to do real estate and construction and health, and teaching people how to eat right and all that stuff. They have to see us doing that first for them to pick it up themselves and want to do it themselves.
Yeah. I have my kids play Monopoly.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah. I haven't played Monopoly for a couple reasons. When I grew up playing Monopoly, I think everyone's done in their own household, and we're always, pushing to pass go to collect that $200. And when I first, it's amazing because when I had them play Monopoly, they were doing the same thing. They were rolling the dice, who can get the bigger number, let's get past, go so we can get $200. But then it became a point where they had all the cash, but they kept landing on my property. And then they became broke. So now they buy everything, and it's crazy because I want, Park Place, but now they want to negotiate. So that's kind of my way of teaching them the business of, wealth building.
Right. Well, I want to talk about the power of your words, how important that is, because I'm pretty sure before you had money, you had to tell yourself that and how important that process is before it comes true.
Yeah, I mean, in boxing, when I was in boxing, I had to tell myself that I wanted to be a champion. And the reason why I got involved in boxing was not just to fight, was the goal is to be a champion. And I believed that I would be a champion even from day one. And so I had to tell myself that, I had to believe in it, regardless of what anybody else thought. I had to instill it in myself and say, I'm going to be a champion regardless of what anybody says, regardless of even if I lost or not, I'm still going to become a champion. And as you see, a lot of champions have blemishes on their record. You know, they're not perfect. You know, there's only a handful that are perfect, but you know, a champion goes through those failures and those bumps and bruises before they get to where they need to be. And you know, you definitely have to be positive and believe in yourself before you get to where you need to be.
Yeah. I believe that words are everything. You know, you can speak a lot of different things into existence. People speak a lot about losing. I always say you can't lose, you can learn. So you learn through your failures, and as you learn through your failures, just do it again. I think the preparation is so serious when it comes to business, right? I actually look forward to the failing. At one time, it wasn't that way, but now it's, if things are going too perfect, it's kind of scary, right?
Yeah,
I have to
true.
fail, and the beautiful thing about failing is that it's almost a challenge. You know, once you fail, can I fix it? And if you know that you can fix it, or you surround yourself around people who can fix it, which is the power of the network, then you have smooth sailings thereafter.
Okay. So when, you know, considering you guys have a large network like myself, when is it okay to burn bridges? I know they said
All the time.
No, Mark, don't say that. No, but like, I'm serious, like for the average, because I know people say, you know, our grandparents, mom, dad, whoever say, you know, never burn your bridges, you never know you have to go back to, but I'm a firm believer. Sometimes, you know, you got to do what you have to do because, you know,
Set it
it's
on
just,
fire.
It's not really burning bridges, it's letting go of people that you don't need in your life. You know, it's not necessarily like ending on bad terms or, you know, saying bad things and then, you know, going away, but
Yeah.
it's more so like, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, we got to part because I'm on to bigger and better things, and right now you're kind of slowing me down. You know,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like, you say burn bridges, but that's not, you know, for me, it's not really burning the bridge. It's letting go of things that do not benefit you in life, and it's not taking you to the next level. It's kind of keeping you stagnant where you are. And you have to get past that. You gotta let things go. Like, it's almost like carrying a heavy load, and you're carrying all these people with you, and they're holding you back, and you just gotta let them go. You know.
This is nice. I burn the bridge.
I don't
Why-
ever.
I'm gonna be
It's
honest.
humility.
why
It's
do you
being
burn the bridge,
humble.
Marty?
Because I don't want you to come back across it. It's very simple. You know, for me, I'm like this. Listen, I have God, I have my wife and my children.
Yeah.
And of course, outside of that is the people that I allow into my family circle, right? And I have a vision for that circle. And everyone's not for you who says they're for you.
That's true.
Period.
Family
Some
too.
people I don't want on my bridge. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to burn it because I don't want you to cross back across it. I don't want you on my bridge.
Right.
So I burn the bridge. And that's not for everybody, but there are some people that you just can't cross. And when you do that, it's in business, it's in life, it's the real world. I think it's great when you're very nice and you want to court people, and that's wonderful, but I don't have time for that. I have one life, one heartbeat, and when it stops, hopefully I did my work.
Yeah.
But I have to just sever ties, and that's just what it is.
So since one used to fight and one used to mentor the fight, T or whatever, I'm making up words, right? But, you know, what's been the hardest fight, and what things kind of knocked you guys out?
And
Financially and non-financially, like what were some things that kind of knocked you guys out?
not burn the bridge fast enough.
No, it's not necessarily knocking us out. I don't think nothing ever knocked us out. It's kind of just like he said earlier. It's a failure, but how to get back. You know, it's not always, it didn't knock us out because we're still in the business. We're still in the business of, you know, I understand maybe in boxing what knocked us out in boxing was the people and the snakes in boxing and like the politics of boxing knocked us out, because it's hard to deal with all that stuff, you know, when you're promoting and you have like, you know, people that just are shady, and it's hard to deal with, and it comes from the top. It comes from commission, managers, promoters,
television networks.
It's all the way down the line. So that, I think that's something that we chose not to deal with anymore. So that's something that kind of, you know, knocked us out of boxing, but we still love the game. We still, you know, go to promotions. We still go and, you know, are fans of it. But as far as, you know, real estate or business is concerned, you fall and you try to get back. You try to figure out how to get back to where you going. It doesn't necessarily just knock you out of the business.
Right.
Yeah, experience is everything though, Kat, when you think about it. And Isra and I spoke about this today. It's like, you know, you have people or individuals, if you will, or companies that get newfound money. And we've been in that space before where we just made some money and we did everything. And next thing you know, the economy breaks or the economy busts and you're back at square one. So I try to educate individuals on what is here today won't be here next year, next week, next month, right? You have to put up something. You know, my parents used to say, pay yourself first.
Right.
Right? Pay yourself first. And I'm not talking about shoebox money. I'm not talking about putting it in the bank. I'm talking about invest in something of quality that can pay you something passive when it comes to income. Right. And when you have that, you can never lose. You know, I think what's happening, especially in our world or where we grew up at, when we look at the name brands, the social media, Instagram, Facebook, if you buy into what's on Facebook and you implement that in your life, then you're gonna go broke mentally, financially, socially, economically, relationally. You're gonna be broke, right? And that's a sad place to be. It's easy being broke and then getting riches. It's easy to go through that journey, but it's hard to come from being rich and going back to being poor. So these things can knock you out, because entrepreneurship isn't hard. There's a lot of people way before us that had great success in real estate, great success in boxing, and they've laid the foundation on what to do. The problem is we keep trying to reinvent a wheel that doesn't need to be reinvented.
So was it hard, you know, making your first million? How do you keep it?
But keeping the first million?
How do you keep your lifestyle? Yeah.
Invest.
Okay.
There's in real estate, for an example, Isra and I made a great deal of money our first year in real estate in 2004, and it was a lot. And we did everything. Cars. If people know me that's watching this, they know we had 9 cars. You know, I mean, it was crazy at one time. We had the $1 million house. We still do. But the problem with that at that time was that was newfound money. And so you can only drive 1 car. I'm not saying if you can't afford 2 or 3 cars, it's fine, go get it. But I look at a lot of these young NFL players that we look at on TV, basketball players that we look at on TV, and they're making, you know, I think this just said the Wizards player, what's his name, point guard, Wall, right? John just signed a $170 million contract. So hopefully he has some great financial advisors, because his silent partner is the IRS. Yeah. So you got to take care of that first. But you have to put money up, and you have to make money work for you. Because if you're not doing it, education is key.
Education is key, like understanding what to do, you know, with your money and how to, like you said, reinvest it or invest it into things that are going to pay you in the long run. Right. And that's something that we've been working on for a long time now.
So how important, you know, is it for you guys to expand your network? I mean, it's one thing to have money, but if you don't know the right people, I don't care how much money you have, like certain things you just can't buy, in my opinion. So talk to people that's out there that's working a job, or maybe they have their own business and don't really think about, okay, I need to expand my network, instead of just business all the time.
Yeah. I think it's, I had to grow into that. I'm still battling with that, business all the time. Yeah. But as I've gotten older, there's comes an importance with time within that. So you can take someone and have a job, for an example, and they can say, listen, do a 401k, a 403b, a 457, whatever it is. Right. And when you truly look at that, here's the beautiful thing about life. You have these people that have grown so much older than we are. And a lot of these people retire. And now that they've retired, They have a home. The home is paid off because it's the biggest asset that we're going to own. But we can't refinance the house because we don't have a job. We have a steady income.
Right.
And so they push us into this thing called a reverse mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And so there goes the legacy. So if you follow that trend that mama followed or grandma followed, then there lies your lifestyle. You don't have to wait to 75 to get there. You just ask mom and dad, who's 75, 80 years old, grandma who's 90, is this what you did? And if she says or he says yes, then that's your lifestyle.
Right.
So you have to get around the like-minded individuals, the network of people, and you're gonna have to sift through that. Everybody can't stay in the network. You gotta let people go.
But goes back to burning your bridge.
Yeah,
though, you know?
it does.
Burning your bridge, like there's been so many people that we've met over the journey of different businesses that we've been in that we didn't burn bridges, and they've come back to us and said, oh, we have a house, do you want it? It's in DC, we don't want it anymore, blah, blah. And that's where we get a lot of our real estate deals, is because of people that we've met over the long run. You know, Marty, of course, is born and raised here, so everybody knows him and he knows everybody. So, you know, they come back and they know that he's in real estate, or they know we're doing certain things.
So what do you have to say for those people that's hustling, not like illegally all the time, but I mean, you know, there's people that make some decent money, but they're hopping around doing this, that, and the third, and it's like there's no steadiness. You know what I'm saying?
They're
like
chasing money.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this the other day.
Yeah, it's hard. Can you hear me? It's hard to do 5 different things when you're one person, right? You can't do it. Years ago, that's what they used to tell me I did, right? You're doing boxing, you're doing this, you're doing that. What they didn't know, I had different people in place, right? And I didn't know how good I was doing it then, but when I was in boxing, you know, I was the promoter. I wasn't the marketing manager. I wasn't the one doing the weigh-ins. I wasn't the one doing all these different things. There were different people that I had in place. But again, it goes back to your network. I believe your network is everything. But I believe over time, I'm just saying this, over time, you have to get rid of some people. It just is what it is. You can't build a business to a multi-empire when you have people around you that don't want the same thing or have the same values that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not hard to do. It's just that you got to go through the failures of getting there. It's not going to happen every day. And what you're doing, it's not going to happen overnight. These things happen and it takes time. So as you get through it and you get better with doing it, you know who to have around you.
But I think that also, you can't necessarily hustle a million things at one time. You know, you have to keep focus on your goal and one thing. You know, and I say that all the time is finish one thing on your plate and move on. You might have a few things going on,
Right.
but try to finish one thing, you know, at a time, because you can't give partial effort to 5 different things. You got to give 100% effort to each one, and that's hard to do. So it's hard to chase money, and it's hard to hustle. You know, you have to be focused on something that is really something that you want.
Are you guys ever worried or think about people that look at you guys and may say, you know, they're all about money, they don't care about nobody? Like, what do you have to say to those people, or people that think that about you guys?
They don't matter.
Okay.
They don't matter. They don't matter.
I personally don't think.
But you know, some people think that.
They think that, but
Yeah.
that's not who we are. So
Right.
I don't even give it 2 thoughts. Like he said,
It don't
we
matter.
don't think about that because we're not like that.
Right.
You know, I don't know what people's perception of us is, but we're about family. We're about, you know, succeeding in life in all aspects of life. You know, and however we need to get there, you know, it doesn't matter what people think. You know, that's completely
That's
out
too
of
much
my
time.
range. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
it
a
is.
lot of time, and I think a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to impress people
Yep.
that don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you do great, they still gonna have something to say
Yeah,
about
that's
you.
true.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. I believe that if someone's speaking about the wins, that's free marketing, so you should continue, right? Please do. It's free marketing. I believe that when people speak bad about you, you're relevant, right? And I believe when people speak bad about you, sometimes they're speaking to someone who says, wow, if you're throwing all their their so-called dirty laundry out there. Let me get to know these people. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people don't understand how powerful their words or their tongue is.
And a lot of people are insecure about themselves,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why they throw shade, is because they're insecure about themselves, or they're envious or jealous about where you are, that they're not there.
Okay. So what would you guys do over?
What will we do over?
Yeah.
I will invest better.
What does that mean?
Meaning years ago, we got into real estate and it was flipping.
Right.
Those same properties today are worth millions of dollars, and I would have held, and I would have set up an irrevocable trust for the children. The trust fund would have been on point, so when they got 18 years old, they would have had what we did years ago. That's one thing I would have done differently.
Okay.
You know, the second thing I probably would have done differently is not involve some people in my business deals when it came to Mike Tyson.
Okay. Okay.
I think our lives are predestined, and I don't believe in regretting what you've done in the past. You know,
Right.
I think that, I mean,
But there's not one thing. I mean, we all have one little thing that we probably would have done differently. Like, it's nothing.
I can't think of anything that I would do differently. Shoot, I really don't. Maybe knocked out Christy Martin. That's about it.
Okay.
You know, not leave it up to the judges, but
Right.
you know, I mean, that's yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to switch it up on you guys. So, what's the best thing? What's the biggest thing that Isra brings out in you?
Honesty, to be more upfront. She brings more of this health consciousness out, of course.
Yeah.
I'm probably in the gym more today than I've ever been in my life because of her. I try to watch what I eat. This is very hard, right? But I'm more conscious. You know, I'm more conscious and just more family conscious. I think that when you, as a man, believe that you can do it on your own without a wife, you're crazy. So that definitely is something that I cherish more now than I ever did before.
Okay. What about you, Isra?
I believe that we're completely opposite. We always talk about he's my right brain and I'm his left brain, because you know he's street smart and I'm book smart. So the way he thinks, I don't think, and it brings out my business side that I don't even think about. I think about, like you said earlier, I want to save the world, but I don't think about the business side of it, which he brings. He brings in another side of myself that I didn't have before, and you know, I think we just complement each other a lot in different ways, because my weaknesses are his strength and vice versa.
Okay. So, what upcoming, projects, events? What are you guys working on now? I know you guys are always up to something. You don't tell nobody nothing. They just release stuff on you. So what's going on with that?
Well, go ahead.
Well, I'll let you talk about the real estate stuff, but as far as me, I'm concerned with the health and nutrition. I'm coming out with a supplement,
Okay.
an herbal supplement, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm taking, of course, classes, Chinese medicine classes. That,
Okay.
I love it.
When is it coming out?
Early next year, probably first quarter next
Okay.
year. So look out.
Okay. And she'll come back with the products.
I will come back with the products.
She better come back with the product.
All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we're also working on, right now as we speak, a couple of condominiums in DC.
Okay.
I believe one or two we will sell. The rest of them we'll keep as vacation rentals.
Smart.
So the goal again is always passive income. There's so many people living in DC and not enough housing, and so if we're able to develop housing, I think that's great. We're also working on our CBE and our LBE disadvantaged licensing to be government contracted in the District of Columbia. So that's exciting.
Okay, that's great. Well, can you guys tell the world where they can find and connect with you both at?
I'm Isra Wynn at gmail.com, which is ISRAWYNN at gmail.com. Website is coming soon. It's under construction.
Yeah. And you can go to Phase 3 Network Inc. at face3networkinc.com. That's the
Okay.
website, face3networkinc.com. We also have a website, martyandisra.com.
That's the mobile website.
Yeah, that's the mobile website.
Okay, y'all on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, at MWin19.
Isra Wynn, Isra Gergro Wynn is mine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys check these two bosses out. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thanks
It
for
means the
having us.
world for me, and look forward to having you guys
Thank
again.
you.